getting paid $16 an hour, and I see no future here. Suddenly, very clearly, I hear a voice. It's like a thought, but it was just so clear. It said, Igor, you are doing fencing. Continue to do fencing. That's all I heard. Every thought about water restoration, roofing, siding, it vanished. And it's almost like I put a blinders and a tunnel vision. I'm all in on doing fencing.
Igor Kozlov is the founder of Cool Cat Fence. He has over 150 employees, operates in multiple states, and is on track to do $40 million this year. But 11 years ago, he was broke, working for Comcast at minimum wage and going nowhere.
I'm like, whoa, what do I do? Are we going out of business? Everyone left, I was by myself, and I went in one room and I got on my knees. And I'm like, God, give me a great operational manager. And this guy didn't even speak English that good. Like, he just came from Ukraine like recently. And I'm putting him as COO of a $9.5 million company. And he takes it and he crushes it. He crushes it.
In this episode, Igor explains why he freely shares his company secrets, even to competitors copying him. He dives into marketing, mindset, and the real difference between people who scale and people who fail.
If you don't have systems and accountability with this size, it's gonna be chaos. High standards, accountability. You want to create McDonald's. All your guys should be selling one standard way. If you can simplify, you can standardize, and you can multiply.
What's up, guys? Quick break over here. 80% of you guys listening are not subscribers. The more subscribers we get, the bigger and better we can make the show.
And if you've been getting value from Matchbox, please hit that subscribe button below. For you, it's just a click. For us, it means a lot.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Igor, welcome to Matchbox.
Glad to be here.
Cool. So Igor, for anyone watching who has no idea who you are and what do you do?
So I live in Black Diamond near Seattle, and I'm married, have two kids, wonderful kids, Simona and Francis. And I'm married to my amazing wife, Ivanka. And I'm also the owner of Cool Cat Fence. Already, it's our 11th year that I'm hitting in one direction, doing fencing.
That's awesome. Cool. So fencing, 11 years. Tell us about Cool Cat Fence. How many employees? What are the numbers? How big is the company?
So right now we have over 150 employees and like 20 contractors.
Wow.
And we're on track to do more than $40 million this year.
Come on.
So this is our breakthrough year.
That's amazing.
How many locations?
Right now, 2 locations. And right now, we are all working on Sacramento, 3rd location.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Got it. So you got 2 locations in Washington, 3rd one in Sacramento.
Portland. But
Portland Metro.
But still, I think that Sacramento is going to be a bigger test for us. Because here, for example, if we don't have material, we can just drive and bring it here because it's 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. But in Sacramento, it's going to be a good test for us to have an independent. My vision, basically, how I'm trying to create it as how United States is working. You have Washington, D.C., which is like the main hub, right? And then you have independent states. Because right now, even with our Portland, our operational manager, he's still in charge of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I want to set up a model where each state can work. It's like McDonald's. That's what we want to do.
Like a franchise.
You want to have headquarters.
Yes.
From the headquarters, you're going to have bigger operations and management and marketing, right? But then every location is standalone location.
Yes.
But the marketing is provided by...
Yes. The marketing, the data, the accounting, budget is from the main headquarters.
Got it. Amazing. Okay, so you didn't start there, and I think a lot of people are curious because they see where you're at now, but they want to know what your come up story's like. So how did you get into fencing? Take us back to the beginning.
So I was married, and I was doing Comcast, running cable, selling internet, and I remember how I was like, man, I'm going nowhere with this. I'm getting paid $16 an hour, and I see no future here. So naturally, I started praying to God. I'm like, God, help me out. I need a direction. I always loved sports. And there's this job when people get injured and sports where they help you, forgot how you call it? Physical therapist, yeah. And I did some research, and it's like it takes 7 years to become a physical therapist.
Wow.
And I saw their pay, it's around $70,000. And I'm like, that's kind of too little for me. I gotta think bigger. I was continue praying. I was praying, and my uncle, who lived in Sacramento, invited me to come for a wedding. His son was getting married, and we come out, and he's like, Igor, I do fences, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to build fences. And you can hire people. When he said these two things, a light bulb went up in my head. I'm like, that's it. I'm gonna be doing fencing. So I remember when we were driving back from Sacramento to Seattle, and I was with my dad. My dad's like, yeah, we're gonna do fencing together. We come back, and as my dad was a stonemason, he kept on doing his thing. And I'm like, man, it's up to me if I want to change this. I can't lean on my dad. It's up to me. And I remember how I was in a house. I was running around trying to find the cable to connect to make it the internet, and I can't find it. I'm like, where is it? Is it underneath the house? Is it somewhere in the wall? And we were in the performance pay, so minimum wage is like $14 an hour, and you have a chance to make more. And I was making minimum wage, and I'm like, I don't see a future here. I opened Craigslist, and the first fence company that I see there, I call them. I'm like, hey, do you guys need a fence helper? They're like, hey, can you dig holes? I'm like, yes, let's go. Come for an interview. So I went to work there, and I was a helper there. And did my pay go up? I started making less money. Instead of $16 an hour, I was making $14 an hour. And my wife, as a babysitter that time, was making more money than I am after they deduct the taxes.
That's a tough
I was
pill to
like,
swallow.
and at the time I was already 28 years old, and I'm like, man, this is like a humbling experience. You know, you're a helper, and so I worked there for 7 months, and I left on good terms. I believe that you have to leave on good terms, and the owner said, Igor, you can come back anytime. I'm big believer that what you sow is what you reap. I left in.
It's easy when you dig holes to live on good terms.
Yeah,
But if you're a COO, it's a different story.
No, for sure. I mean, I was a helper. I never got promoted. I was a helper. I remember that after half a year, my boss, and God bless him, he was amazing. You know, I only have good things to say about him. Came up to me and said, Igor, look, I'm going to tell you right now the news. Please don't get too excited. Don't show too much joy. I'm giving you a raise, $1. And I'm like, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not. I was thankful. You know, I took it. You know, like I'll take it. You know.
Did you not show
Didn't
too much
show
joy?
too much joy. Didn't show too much joy. And I started. I left on good terms. I gave 2-week notice. And when I started my own business, I remember how I came in and I was starting to dig holes. You know, I put the posts, and then I got stuck. I'm like, I don't know how to do the frame. And I'm like, Igor, seriously? You've worked for the whole half a year doing fencing, and you don't know how to build a fence? Is this a joke? I remember I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, can you come out? I need help. Thank God for my dad. He came out, and he helped me out. He helped me out, and I finished my first fence. I was so excited. I'm like, couldn't believe this.
How did it turn out?
It was good, you know. Customer gave me a good review. She was very happy. So, guys, I started in 2016. That's when I started.
The economy is not that good.
I mean,
It's kind of.
it was. I mean, I didn't have no overhead. When you're the only employee, I had a paid off truck. It was like a beat up $3,000 truck. I had no overhead, no CRM system. Everything's paid off. So it was easier for me. But 4 years later, we're gonna skip 4 years later, beginning of 2020, right before the New Year's, before COVID. I didn't know COVID's coming, but I remember how I was in a situation where I was so confused in my life. I was living in an apartment in a bad neighborhood. So when I would go to work, my wife would feel unsafe. We'd have homeless people come in. I mean, honestly, outside. And sometimes our cars would be broken in, and they would steal stuff. So my wife would feel unsafe. And by that time, I already had a son, Francis. So he was 2.5 years old at that time. I knew I had to buy a house so I can take care of my wife and my kids so they can be safe. And I was looking for a house. I remember this house was like $420,000 back then. And I'm like, man, that's too expensive. If I buy the house, how am I going to pay for it? I was afraid that I'm not able to afford it. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to buy it. And then I had a friend, Gabriel, who had a business, water restoration. So when the houses get flooded or there's water, they come in with fans and they fix it. And he told me how much he got paid. And he was getting paid 4 times more money than I was. I'm like, man, I'm in the wrong business. I'm like, Gabriel, I'm going to come work with you. But I told him, but I'm going to open up my own business. He's like, hey, Igor, no problem. Come in. He was trying to make me come work with him. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing water restoration. And then I had these thoughts. Why don't I just sell roofing and siding? I have uncles, cousins that do siding. Why don't I win the job and just give it to them and get a cut? So I had in my mind just confusion, this, that, I was lost. And it was the beginning of the new year, and our church, City Hill, they announced a fast and prayer, the beginning of the new year. And somewhere I heard that Jensen Franklin, if you guys know who that is, he's a pastor in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a big church. He shared a testimony how he fasted 21 days, and God gave him like a huge breakthrough.
Okay.
Wow. And that really hit me really hard. And I'm like, I gotta see God. I need a breakthrough in my life. I need clarity, guidance. So I went into fast, water fast only. And I remember how my friend, Teddy, he would pick me up and then I would pick him up. Because at 7 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, we had prayer and worship during this fast. And
how long was the fast for?
Well, the fast was in church 21 days, but some people fasted like Daniel's fast. Some people fasted for like 3 days. But it was so cool that you get up in the morning and there's people waiting and you guys together in the beginning of the year seeking God. And I remember how on the 9th day of the fast, I was driving from on I-90, people that know from Issaquah towards Mercer Island. And again, I was listening to Jensen Franklin testimony, how he fasted and God blessed him. And during that time, my business was nothing special. I was in the business. Business depended on me.
You were the business.
I was the business. And I had no connections. I had no friends that were business people. I had no money. And when I was driving on the I-90, I started crying out to God. I was like weeping, crying. I'm like, God, you bless Jensen, bless me. And I was just like, it was from the bottom of my heart, from depth of my soul. I just cried out to God. And this was on the 9th day. On the 11th day of the fast, I had such a strong acid reflux in my stomach. I felt so much pain. And I emergency exited the fast. And I felt like a total loser. I thought that God was going to only bless me if I'm going to fast for 21 days. I only did it for 11, and I felt like a loser. And I remember how I started eating food just to soothe my pain. And next day, nothing happened. And then 2 days later, after the exit, I got up in the morning for prayer as usual. My wife was still sleeping with my son in the room, and I was in the living room. And when I pray, I like to walk back and forth. And I'm just, seeking God. And suddenly, very clearly, I hear a voice. It's like a thought, but it was just so clear. It said, Igor, you are doing fencing. Continue to do fencing. That's all I heard. That was very short. That's it. That's all I heard. But when I heard this, every thought about water restoration, roofing, siding, it vanished. And it's almost like I put a blinders on like horses when they race and a tunnel vision. I'm all in on doing fencing. And after that, I just had this desire. I'm going to rent land. I need land. Because before I had a couple of crews working, and the biggest problem that I had is guys would go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and sometimes it would be like 11 a.m. and they said, Igor, I can't find the material. I'm going home. So I had a problem with material. So I was about to rent land, and it was I negotiated with the guy. He said for $1,500 a month, you can get this land. Guys, who do we ask for opinion in the beginning of business? Our parents, our friends, who don't know business, right? So I naturally asked my dad. I'm like, Dad, this land is $1,500. Should I get it? He's like, Igor, no, don't get it. Your rent of your apartments is $1,300. This is $1,500. How are you going to afford this? Thank God I did not listen to my dad. I just had it in my mind, like, I'm just going to get it, I got the land. I bought a forklift. And I negotiated with this lady that she started delivering material on site. So now guys would come in the morning, all the material was there. They would load up. Instead of them looking for hours for the material, they would go straight to the customer. And we started growing.
At this point, did you have employees? Like, what was the size of your operation?
So I was the estimator, and I was like a project manager. I would make sure I would deliver material. And
So this is before the breakthrough.
oh, of course, this is big time before.
You have a crew, as one small crew?
Yes, we already had a couple of crews,
Okay.
2 or 3. And I want to also mention something, guys. After this fast, I remember how I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm buying a house, and I'm not afraid. So remember how I was afraid to buy a house for $420,000? So this house was just being built in Black Diamond, 10 Trails, and it was a brand new house, and it was $600,000. And I said, yes, I'm going for it. Committing. And this is when COVID was going full on COVID time, when people were just like afraid. Nobody was buying anything. And again, I called my dad. No, actually, my dad called me. He's like, Igor, this is worse than 2008. You gotta cancel your deposit because it's worse than 2008. And I was like, whoa, man, could be a problem. So me and my wife, again, we went to God, we prayed. I remember how we got on our knees, we prayed, me and her together. And the next day, I come in for an estimate. And my customer, for some reason, he wasn't there. So he asked his friend, realtor, the lady, to be there. And I started talking to her, and I said, hey, look, I'm trying to buy this house. What do you think? She's like, Igor, listen to me. Buy this house. You're going to love it. It's going to be such a blessing for your life. And it was like an angel from the Lord just spoke to us.
Because you were battling in
course,
your thoughts.
guys.
Should I do it? Should I not?
Back then, when I had so little, when I had no money, for me, $3,000 was crazy amount of money. And I was filled with fear. But when she said it again, it was just so settling. And you guys know that after later people started buying houses, there was a frenzy. Everyone was buying houses. Yeah. But and then the prices went up like crazy. And then our house went up to like 900,000 or more. Faith. I mean, I was the same person, but what happened is right here. Faith. God gave me faith. And I started moving in faith. So before I got the land, in 2019, my revenue, if I'm not mistaken, I actually have the data here. I can open my phone, but it was about 919,000. It was not even a million. Revenue. It's revenue. But after I got the land and the forklift.
And the house.
And the house. And the house. Man, we're so blessed. We still live in that house. 5.5 years later, we just absolutely love the house, enjoy it. What a blessing. What a blessing. What's changed back then? I found a guy, or my cousin texted me, hey, there's a guy named Ivan. He came from Ukraine, And there he used to be a sales manager for a big company. He had 50 people under him. I'm like, for me, first fear, what if he steals my business? Because when you never ran a business, you're very fear driven. I'm like, what if he steals my business? But I met him and I'm like, I'm going to give you an offer. I'm going to give you 10% from subtotal of every job. And we agreed. And Ivan was such a better salesperson than I am. That was a big step forward because, guys, when you do estimates, it takes so much of your time. You come in for an estimate. And back then, I would come in and say to the customer, hey, I'll send you an estimate within 3-4 days. And then you win it, right? If there's any problem, customer calls you. If there's any problem, the foreman calls you. So you're always in the business. So when I got Ivan, that was such a breakthrough for me. Instead of me being in the business, I started working on the business. Started working on marketing. And he was a salesman / project manager. And I'm like, Ivan, you do the schedule. And if there's any problems with foreman, they're gonna call you. You're in charge. Like I would just like, I would give up control and just let people do the job. And then during that time, I had Oleg come in. Oleg in Russia, he used to have a business in Moscow. And he was already he was moving to, I don't think it's Kentucky, Arkansas. He was moving to Arkansas. And when he was driving there, my dad, oh, guys, I actually got my dad into my business. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing in masonry? I'm like, come work. Like you can hire a helper. And he called Oleg when Oleg was en route to Arkansas. He's like, Oleg, come work for me. There's future in fencing. Later you can become a foreman. So Oleg joined us, and he was quality guy. He was the best installer. The quality that he did, nobody was like him. And I'm like, hey, Oleg, since you're so good, I'm going to give you another crew. And then he was in charge of 2 crews. And you guys know that, I mean, in the beginning, it's leads. Like, number one thing in business is leads. I remember how I began with Thumbtack. I know right now a lot of guys start out with Thumbtack. And I remember how I started using Yelp. And I remember how I accidentally signed a contract that I'm going to pay them $300 a month for the whole year. And I remember how I called them. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, get me out of this contract. They're like, nope, you can't. You already paid for it. Looking back, so thankful that I was locked in that contract. Because back then, Yelp was a blue ocean. Right now, everybody's there. It's not good. But back then, I started dominating in Yelp. So I would pay $300 and I would get like more than 30,000 worth of work, 50,000, 70,000, 80, like insane ROI on Yelp. For me, Yelp became a blue ocean. That's one of the reasons why we started getting, 4th crew, 5th crew. I also understood that what got me here will not necessarily get me further. So I remember how when the war in Ukraine happened, and the guy from church asked me, Igor, can you go with me to Warsaw? I'm like, hey, sure. And we came to his house to prepare for the trip. And for some reason, Liana was at that meeting. And she's like, hey, Igor, by the way, I coach businesses. And I'm like,
Who's that?
Liana, she actually goes to Kingdom Movement Church. She's, Liana. Who's interested more, you guys can reach out to me. I can tell more about her, but she's a big blessing. So I remember how I knew that if I want to change, I got to do something different. If you do the same thing over and over, you're going to have the same results. So I'm like, Liana, coach us. She's like, $4,000 for 8 hours. Back then, crazy amount of money for me. I took a step of faith. But let's go back. So God speaks to me 2020 to do the fences. I get that land for $1,500, buy a forklift. Year later, I'm trying to get a land shop and a land for $7,600. And I remember I reached out to them. I'm like, guys, let's go. I want to get it. And I get so excited about this place. I'm like, man, there I can sell materials. There, it's such a Tequila, it's such a strategic location. It's 405, Seattle. It's perfect. And then I get an answer. No, we have a different company that has more money than you. We're giving to them. I remember how my heart sank. I'm like, it's over. I'm not going to get this place. And the first 2 days I was walking like depressed. And then I'm like, you know what, God, let your will be done. I'm going to have less stress now. I don't have to pay the $7,600 a month. And then 2 weeks later passes. They call me like, hey, the other team for some reason backed out. We're giving it to you. I was like, whoa. We got that place. And then later Liana came in and that shop was like a barn. No AC. Just like it was just a rickety place. And I remember how she was coaching us, and we were dreaming. And I'm like, Oleg, you're gonna become COO. And then I have to admit, I was also thankful for Nick, my friend, who right now lives in Israel. When I began business and I would take all the calls, he said, Igor, you need to hire an admin. And I remember when I first was interviewing my first admin, I was so nervous. Like I was so shy. I was so nervous. But I'm happy I just overcame that and I hired my first admin who would pick up the phone when customers would call and she would do payroll. Natalia, she was really good at her job. And then later I hired Tiffany as a CSR and I would move Natalia to accounting. So the first major 3 hires that helped me grow my business: Ivan, full-time salesperson; Natalia, admin payroll; and Tiffany, CSR. Those 3 hires freed me up to work on the business. And so what is it? So in 2022, wow. So my first name ever was Quality Fence. 2 years later, I get a letter from a company called Quality Fence Builders. They send me a cease and desist letter. They're like, hey, if you don't change your name, we're going to sue you. I called the lawyer. I'm like, what can we do? He's like, Igor, you can spend $15,000 and not win this case. I'm like, comprende, adios, and change the name. I changed the name to Inline Fence. I came up with the name. It was such an exciting time. We were so little back then.
So optimistic.
But we were optimistic, we were just so thankful for every job. And I was always big on customer service. I remember how we had this horrible review from a customer on Yelp, 1 star. And I remember how I was talking to one of my sales guys. I'm not gonna mention his name, somebody else. And he's like, this customer at the Baba. And I'm like, whoa, bro, you don't talk like this to the customers. I'm like, that's how you view customers? I'm like, that's not how you talk to customers. And I remember how I called the customer, I dropped everything and I went to North Seattle and I talked to the customer. I'm like, I'm gonna take care of this. I take ownership of this job. I'm gonna make sure I will take care of this. And I remember how I called Andres, one of our best foremen. He's right now in Colombia. I think he got deported, but he was amazing. I was like, Andres, look, I want to give you a bonus. I need you to come in here and redo the job. And he was so good with customer service. He came in, he did redo the work, and then the customer removed her 1 star, and she wrote a review. Igor Kozlov is going places. She wrote the review, but I was really big on customer service.
When you're small, you have to be.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, when you're big, you have to as well, but it's different approach,
So at this point, you've got the 3 strategic hires.
And again, this is after the breakthrough.
All these, yeah.
And then at what point does Cool Cat Fence come into the mix?
Ooh, let's go. I'm going to tell you how it is. So in 2022, I found a book by Tommy Mello called Home Service Millionaire. I listened to it. I'm like, man, I really like this guy. And he had a conference in Phoenix. And I came out with my brother. And I saw what he did. He took the HVAC model. Because if you look at home service industry, they have hands down the best technology, the best sales, the best marketing. So I'm like, man, this guy's smart. He took their model and brought it to the garage doors. I'm like, what if I do that? And what did he do? Number one, he started using vans to wrap the vans, using them as a driving billboard. I'm like, it's a pretty good idea. Because in fencing, the classical standard approach was flatbed. And I remember how old my guy Oleg, he's like, Igor, why don't we get a van? I'm like, Oleg, you don't understand. In fencing, everybody's doing like this. And but since he was really good, I wanted to take care of him. So I remember how we went to Portland here, and we bought our first brand new. And it wasn't brand new; it was not clean title, obviously, because we're gonna save money. But we got it for cash, and it was like high roof, extended body.
A Sprinter.
It was Ram ProMaster 3500.
Okay.
And then we put inline fence, and then we got another van. But okay, when I was at Tommy Mello, I think this is after. So I was at Tommy Mello's, and I'm like, he did the vans, and he put like Tommy Mello. He used as his mascot, his face caricature of Tommy Mello, A1 Garage. And I'm like, I gotta get a mascot. I gotta get a mascot. Number one. Number two, what Tommy Mello did, he took the CRM system, Service Titan. He took it from that CRM. It was made by two guys from Armenia. They moved, and right now it costs over 10 billion. That company, but they created that CRM system specifically for HVAC. It's number one CRM system in HVAC. It's if you want to go nationwide, you use that CRM system. And I was crazy. I remember when we had meetings with our company, 2021, 2022, I'm like, we're going to go nationwide. We're going to be number one fence company in America. And I'm looking back, I'm like, man, that is crazy talk. I mean, but I was just so young, naive, but I was just dreaming big. So because I was dreaming big, I'm like, I need to get the CRM system. If I'm going nationwide, I need to get the infrastructure. And I need the CRM system. So when I came back from this conference, why proximity matters? Like why before my fast, why I wasn't growing, why I was stuck? Because I had no network with other business people. I didn't go to a business conference. I didn't read business books. I was just in my microclimate doing same thing over and over, self-employed mindset.
You're in the trenches.
Yeah, I was in the trenches. Yeah, I was like... And after this conference, I'm like, we're going to get Service Titan. Because before this, we were using Excel sheet. We never had a CRM system before. And I'm like, how do we get to 7 million revenue per year without a CRM system? It's pretty, and no financing. So I remember I come in and I'm like, Ivan, Tiffany, we're getting the CRM system called Service Titan. They're like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know, but we're going to do it. I remember how I went forward. They were against it, guys. People are afraid of change. I remember how Tiffany, she was looking at it. She was like, they're against.
It's complicated.
It's probably the most complicated CRM system in the home service. You got to have an IT person full time. You have to have a software almost engineer that knows backend and coding to run that system. So I remember when we got it, me, Tiffany, Ivan, we were looking at it like Chinese language. We're like, so what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. Figure it out. Oh boy. Thank God that I remember how I promoted Oleg. I'm like, Oleg, you're going to become COO in a company. He's like, Igor, how? I'm like, I don't know. Figure it out. And that later he told me, Igor, I was really afraid because I don't know how you're going to pay me because I don't think we had money for that. I'm like, we'll figure it out. So he became the COO, and he started organizing the company, because before, it's by God's mercy and grace how we grew.
From 2020 to 22.
I think when I promoted him, it was 2022 when I promoted him to COO position. And
is that one Cool Cat fences?
Nope, there was no Cool Cat. It was inline fence. And the thing is, I had like 7 crews back then, 7, 8, and everybody was doing fences how they did it. It wasn't one standard. Everybody did it like how they could. And Oleg came in and he started bringing organization. He started, so before, people would steal material, steal tools. There was no accountability. There was no system. How can you control it when you have so much people? So he started, so when he would give the tools, he would write down the serial number of every tool. So this is your name. This is the tools that I give you. So if he gets fired or leaves, we're gonna go and look at your inventory. And if we lose a tool, you're gonna hold him accountable. So he started, and he brought Ilya. Ilya had a degree from University of UW as a computer science. So he's the one that started setting up the CRM finally. He was capable. He was very smart. He started setting it up. And then Oleg went to a conference in New York. And after that, he comes back and he says, Igor, let me be the CEO of the company. I'm like,
what happened in New York?
Well, it was a business conference that they were teaching how to be CEO, how to run a company. He got excited, you know, and I always liked when people showed initiative. I'm like, go, get it, do it. And so basically that year, 2020, this was 2023, when he became a CEO, I started traveling the world. I went to Israel, separate trip. I went to Italy. I went to Norway. And I remember how I was driving, and I would go to work sometimes like at 1 p.m. just to check on the guys, just to say hi. I got to do something, right? And I remember how I'm driving in the sunshine, so beautiful, and I'm drinking tea, and I'm like, back of my head, I'm like, this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. It's
probably a dream.
Like, yeah, this is probably a dream, you know, because this is like, I mean, and during this time, 2023, when I started rebranding, because I already got the Service Titan, and I'm like, hey, I gotta put a mascot on the vans. I'm like, inline fence is cool, but I'm losing here. I needed to pop more. So I hired Kick Charge Creative, the one that Tommy Mello used, and they are the best in home services across America. They're very expensive, but they're the best. I hired them, and they drew us a cat, our current cat. And I'm like, I like it. Let's move forward with it. Inline fence with a cat. And my wife's like, Igor, what are you doing? Is there like a correlation between a cat and an inline fence? I'm like, you don't understand. These are the professionals here. They're the best in America. They know what they're doing. And she just wouldn't give up. Like one day, she's putting pressure on me. Second day. And on the second day, I'm like,
maybe she's right.
Maybe you're right. Like, I think you have a point there. The cat and inline fence, there's no correlation. I'm like, scratch, time out. I call the company. I'm like, guys, I love the cat so much. Let's get a name that's going to correlate with the cat. So they come out with 5 names. Smitten fence. Now and furred up fence, like meow fence. And then they had like cool cat fence. So out of those 5, we're like, I guess we like cool cat more, but it's still weird. And
it's cheesy, you know. It's kind of like,
I mean, it's like, and I would again,
childish.
Yes,
kind of.
Again, who do you ask for advice when in beginning? Your parents, your siblings, your friends, and your workers. And everybody said, Igor, this is a joke. This is like 80s. Like you had a nice, solid company, inline fence, and now you're going to become a cat, like cartoonish. So everybody hated it. Tiffany hated it, our CSR. I remember how Ilya was, I remember very, very vivid. We're sitting in our office, and there's Ilya, there's Ivan, and Ilya's like, "Can you guys imagine if we are Cool Cat, we're gonna come and do an estimate, and then the neighbor's gonna say, 'Who did your estimate?' And they're gonna say, 'It's Cool Cat fans,' and they just laughed, they just laughed, and I remember we had Kenny, and I'm like, Kenny the Cool Cat. He's like, no, I'm not a Cool Cat. So people hated the name. And I remember at one time, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to move forward with it. It's too crazy. People are going to make fun of me. I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. I'm probably not going to move forward with it. And then again, I fasted for one day. And I go to sauna. And there I meet a businessman. And I ask his advice. And he says, Igor, go for it. Don't hold back. Go for it. So, man, we have to ask advice from business owners. God bless their parents and God bless their siblings, but they're not business owners. Business owners operate on a new. They see things differently.
So just one person in a sauna told you do it, and you did it.
And I did it.
What was his rationale? Like, why did he encourage you to do this?
He had a business that his van was wrapped. There was nothing crazy. There was no cartoons. It was just, and he's like, Igor, people tell me they see my van everywhere. That was his rationale. Mm-hmm. So I moved forward with the name, and then we sent an email blast to all our existing customers. We're like, hey, we're changing from inline fence to Cool Cat fence. And then we get 2 emails back. The customers are saying, if you had that name, I would never hire you. I was like, ouch, shots fired.
It's a bumpy start.
Bumpy start. And I'm like, man, this is, for some reason, I thought that as soon as I rebrand, I'm going to get so much leads. I rebranded, nothing happened. I was like, whoa, like, what's not?
What did I just do?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, nothing happened. I'm like, okay. But I think that was one of the hardest thing I did in my business, in my whole, is rebranding. Because you get so attached to your brand. Everybody knows you as this. Right now, everybody's copying me. And where I live right now in the Seattle area, we have now rare bears. And they have like bear, like a cute bear, Now we have monkey fence.
Okay.
We have tidy beaver. And then later, Oleg, later he left my company and he opened a company, Optima Fence, and they have a lion. So when they copy you, that's a compliment. That means you're doing something right. But when you're the pioneer, you're the first one doing it, man, it's tough. But we were the first ones.
Everyone who is copying you, they think it's the name that brought you the success. But the reality is it's not. And we're going to dig it deeper into. Yeah, the name is great. It's catchy. But I don't think it's why you built a $40 million company. Do you agree?
I think that 40 million is very united leadership. Everybody's pulling their weight. Everybody is pulling their weight. And because of this dynamic, one. Number two, powerful CRM system. Like our data is dialed in.
Are you still using Service Titan?
Yes. I wouldn't be here without Service Titan.
Wow.
Powerful marketing. Maybe the best sales in America in fencing. Maybe it's everything is dialed up. Amazing accounts receivables. How fast we collect money. It's just so fast. But I think that the name Cool Cat Fence and that the brand does affect. I don't think we'd be at 40 million right now without that name. I could be wrong. But
you're biased.
I am biased. But guys, can I tell you something? I remember how I went to Banff in Canada. There's 2 hotels that I was looking at. One was Red Moose Hotel, and the other one is, I still don't remember. It was an abstract name. And I vividly remember how I was trying to recollect that name in my mind. I'm like, what is that name? I wanted to type it in Google so I can, and I couldn't recollect from my mind. But Red Moose Hotel was easy because imagination. I imagined the Red Moose. I'm like, boom, and I typed in Red Moose Hotel. Guess where I stayed that night?
Red Moose
Hotel. Do you guys understand? So I'm in the business of marketing. So when they see your van, they only have 2 seconds. Can they understand what you're doing? And later, can they recall in their mind when they type in Google? If they at Google and like, oh, what was the name? If they don't remember you,
It's either dog or cat. I think it was a cat. Cool cat.
so but look, Vlad, if they don't remember you, they're gonna type in fence near me, and that's where you lost it right there, right? But the goal is for them to remember, So I believe that,
But
yeah,
maybe not lost. They're searching for a fencing company. And I was just explaining this just this morning. Imagine you live in a city and everywhere you go, you see Coca-Cola advertisement. Anywhere you go, a coffee shop, a restaurant, outside, benches, billboards, and you go into a store like a Whole Foods, and there's going to be a lot of drinks. Which one you're going to pick? Most likely, subconsciously, you're going to take Coca-Cola. So when they type in fences near me and they see Inline, Optima, some other name, and then they see Cool Cat, it will ring a bell and they will click on that.
that's powerful.
Yeah, because it's subconscious.
Yes. Yeah.
Even if they don't remember, even if they don't actually remember, but they saw the vans, it registered, it's saved in their, subconscious, in their conscious. And they don't even know why, but they picked that name. And that's how I was explaining. This is how psychology works. This is why, these mascots, they work.
No, yeah. Yeah, so if we had inline fence, would we be going 40? I don't think so.
I agree. So it's interesting. Before this podcast, a lot of people always ask me, when's your next podcast? When's your next podcast? Who's the next guest? And I mentioned, it's going to be Igor. He's a fencing guy. And I specifically don't mention the company name because I wanted to see like, oh, have you heard of him? And 3 people, I kid you not, they're like, oh, is he the one with the cat fence company? And here's the thing is, I don't think they need to remember Cool Cat Fence.
Yeah.
But as long as they associate cat and fence,
that's
it. You've already won. Because when we were doing our pre-podcast call together, just to hear your story and to kind of dial in questions, we got on Google and we just typed in like cat fence company, and Cool Cat Fence was everywhere, right? It was the first thing that came up. And so it doesn't, I don't necessarily think it's because it was a cat. It could have been another animal, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was like Chill Dog Fence or something like that. But for me personally, I remember seeing your ads. It was probably about a year ago. I started seeing your ads because you started expanding to the Portland area. And it was so impressionable because it was catchy, it was cartoonish. And then I started seeing the yard signs start to pop up. And then I saw the first van pop up. And it was already seared into my prefrontal cortex. Like, okay, fencing, Cool Cat Fence. And then I have just down the street from me in Happy Valley, a guy got a fence done. And I saw the Cool Cat guys in front of it. They were doing it. And there was a yard sign. And then at my father-in-law's house, there was another fence that was being done. And like now I know in my mind, not just the name, but I'm like, those 2 fences I'm already associating with you being like them being done by your company, not by anybody else's. There's fences going up all the time, but I don't see any sort of branding, nothing associated with their company whatsoever. I could not tell you who did them. But those 2 fences in my one in my neighborhood, one in my father-in-law's neighborhood, I know they're done by Cool Cat because it was so impressionable, the brand. So again, I don't think it's necessarily the name, but the fact that it's an animal, it's catchy, it feels very innocent, and you're everywhere. All of those touch points from social media, the organic content, the paid ads, and then seeing 3 or 4 additional touch points makes it extremely difficult to compete with.
Let's go. It's a movement at this point.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, with God's help. Like God anointed us in fencing. I just see his hand. But you have to do in the physical world. Starts with marketing. I remember how my mom told me, Igor, the only reason that you guys are doing good in business is because you guys do quality work. And I thought about it. I'm like, no, Mom, it's because we know how to do business. We know how to market. We know how to sell. Because there's a lot of people that do very good work and they're in business, but that doesn't mean that you're going to scale. That's not enough to scale. It's not enough.
Yeah, back in the days, quality meant success. Not anymore. It's
Attention.
whoever does better marketing.
Whoever out distributes whoever is seen the most.
So let's dive into the marketing aspect, because I think that's what Coolcat is the best at, right?
Marketing and sales.
You recognized that you had to rebrand. You pulled the trigger. You've got the vans, you've got the yard signs. What are the most important pieces to the whole marketing strategy? How do you make it all work together?
Well, it's everything. You can't just point one. Like what I like about our company, I can open my Service Titan right now and it can show you for the month of May which one is. It's everything. Like it's so
Data in
yeah. So it starts with
analytics.
social media, right? The beautiful part about social media is that you can create demand. They might not be looking for a fence, but you can create, like you can show them in such a way that they're going to have a desire to get a fence. So that's why I believe that fencing, I remember how I was in fencing, and I'm like, man, I should be doing roofing, because roofing, the average ticket is like twice as much or a lot bigger than fencing. I'm like, man, roofing is where it's at. Or HVAC, that's where it's at. And right now, looking back, I'm so thankful that I'm in fencing. God said to me, Igor, you're doing fencing, continue to do fencing, because fencing is also a want. People actually want it. Like it's a good for corporate appeal. If you have a dog and you want safety, you can get you have kids. It's security, it's safety, and also it looks privacy, and it looks good. So there's a lot of it. It's easier to sell. For example, right? If you do HVAC and it's not hot or cold, and you don't get like excited about getting HVAC unless you're cooking or you're cold, it's essential. And right now, even roofing, if you look at roofing, there's so much competition. They already have Service Titan. They already have the best sales process. We were the first ones. Fence was such a looked down upon. It's such a nobody like took it seriously. So we were like the first ones that we disrupted the whole fence industry. I remember how I called the biggest fence company of that time, the owner. He was an older gentleman. I'm like, I'm not gonna mention his name. I'm like, hey, I'm rebranding to Coolcat Fence, and he's like, Igor, all your customers are gonna come to me. Well, time has passed. He went back then. He had like around 10 residential crews. Now 1 crew. He's doing good in commercial. I mean, okay now, but he used to be number 1. Not anymore. So the way I see time is changing so fast, and if people don't move with the time.
You mean time and technology?
Technology, like people who's doing good right now in fencing, people that are copying our style, people that are old school, flatbeds, come in for an estimate. I'll send you an estimate within 3-4 days.
They're dying out.
Like we come in, we sell on the spot, and we already install it before they even get an estimate. I mean, speed. The way I see people win the most, that once you get an estimate, and by the time you finish the job and collect the cash, if you can compress it, and the faster you can do it, it's hard to compete against you, because you have cash flow. And when you get cash flow, you can fuel your growth. You have options. You can spend even more. So we disrupted the defense industry. Number 1, with branding, marketing, and sales. So as I said before, right? People would come in on the paper, do an estimate, and say, we will send you within 4 days. And then we come in with an iPad and give you the estimate on the spot. The customer says, I don't have money. No problem. Do you want to take advantage of our promotion, financing? It's monthly payment of this amount, and on the spot. We sell on the spot. The reason why we're here, marketing, sales. Sales is huge. Why sales matter? Without sale, nobody's working. Your accountant has no job. Your installers have no jobs. That's why sales is king. I want my son when he grows up to if he can make it with Cool Cat Fence sales. I mean, that's a skill that will be with you forever. And we used to be estimators. Even when Ivan was here, he was an estimator. But we had Eddie. He came in, young buck, and I remember how me and him talked over the phone about the interview. And I'm like, I'm gonna send you the offer. And then he follows up a couple hours later. Is it there already? I'm like, whoa, this guy is he's an eager beaver. Like, I like that, I hired him, and I remember it was Ivan, Dennis, and Eddie. And I mean, I don't know how I did business back then. It's just by mercy of God. Like, I remember I would call Dennis. I'm like, Dennis, did all your customers pay your jobs? Like, it was in there. Like, I mean, that's crazy how I did business back then. But Eddie was.
They have to collect the check.
Yes, they were in charge to collect that. So a lot of them, they would be missing, And I'm like, hey, can you call the customer, make sure you get paid? I mean, that's not how you do business. Like right now, our AR is it's like a tank. But I remember how Eddie, even my wife pointed out, she's like, Igor, did you notice how detailed Eddie is and how he always on top of things, So I remember how I promoted Ivan. I'm like, Ivan, you're going to be the director of the sales. And he's like, whoa. He started having excuses that I'm like, either you're going to do it or I'm going to hire someone instead of you. So I remember we kind of like, grudgingly, we pushed him in, as a sales director, and he failed miserably. He was no good. And I worked with him for 3 years. Phenomenal guy. He was getting $200,000 a year. What a guy. What a good memories. But when he saw that he lost, because he was in control, all the leads come in, he would be the one that would book he would call the customer and book the estimates. He would always get the best ones for himself, and then he would put one for Eddie and for Dennis. And when he lost that, I think he saw the writing on the wall. And then when I promoted Oleg to CEO, he saw the writing on the wall. He left. He opened up a company right now, Alien Fence. He's not a competitor. I mean, he's great. I'm happy for him. But then I promoted Eddie to the sales director, and Eddie, he killed it. Eddie did it. Right now, he did it. Like, he's doing it. He created a sales process. We have an amazing sales process. And right now we have a script, and our guys have to memorize the script. So whenever our guys will tell you, hey, I don't believe in scripts, I'm going to just freestyle. That's baloney. That's not professional. Professionals, you want to have a script. Later you can go off script once you get really good, but you want to have a script. You want to create McDonald's. All your guys should be selling one standard way. If you can simplify, you can standardize, and you can multiply. If you're ever doing it their own way, you get a mess. So we have one way how we sell. That's why CRM matters so much. Because
how did you come up with the idea that you need a script, or who did?
Eddie.
Where did he learn that? Because
we had a guy that came to join us that used to work for a $300 million a year company. Okay. So he brought in some stuff.
Okay.
He listened, podcast, brought someone else. It's a process. It doesn't take half a year. It takes
trial and error.
It's
like, how can we improve? And you start looking. That's the proper way.
Even right now, we're always changing. You can never be, because our guys, our competition, they copy our process. So we're always improving, always innovate. The only thing is guaranteed is change. So we're always changing, always. But I remember how in 2025, beginning of 2025, last year, we had 4 sales guys, and we were preparing for spring. Spring offensive, we're gonna make some money, spring's coming. And then Valentine, one of our sales guys, is leaving. And then we hear rumors that he's gonna take another guy with him. And we're like, whoa, what do we do? And Eddie comes into my office. I'm like, hey, close the door. Let's pray. We prayed. And I'm so thankful for Sam Matsuk, the owner of Topline. He's my friend and mentor. Like, I give him a lot of credit. I want to give credit where it's due. I'm like, Sam, we got a problem. And he gives us advice. and we used that advice, and that's why it matters proximity, guys. People that are, because he was on a whole nother level than us. He was different league. He was a pioneer. He did a lot of things that I'm just learning, you know. And but I also remember how I told Eddie, I'm like, Eddie, start hiring people. I'm like, if you won't do this, I'm gonna bring a vice president over you, the sales guy. It hurt Eddie's feelings, but instead of him crying about it, he went to work and he started hiring people, and we killed it. We grew like God bless us so much.
Can you go back to 2020 when you had the breakthrough every year, and then the full rebrand 23, right? Every year, what was the revenues?
Man, I have a list. I have a list. Okay, let me see if I can remember from my memory. So in 2000, last year, 2025, we made 16 million in revenue. The year before, when Oleg was the CEO till September, we made 9.5 million.
Okay.
That's 2000. That's 25, right? 24, we did like 8.
No, 16 last year.
Right? Yeah, last year 16. The year before
9, 23,
9.5, 23 like 8, like 8, you know, and 22 like 7.
Okay.
So even after I rebranded, there is no crazy growth.
So
That's
it's not.
interesting.
It's probably not the Cool Cat name. It was systems.
Okay, I'm gonna share this, man. I probably shouldn't, but so here's what was the change, guys. Here's what, man. At this point, I'm gonna just tell all my secrets, but you know how it is. If you only hold on to what God gave you, you might be holding on to it the rest of your life. But if you give up, bless people, God's gonna give you more. So what happened is in 2024, when Oleg was CEO, I remember how I saw that Victor Vancouver posted that Sam Matsuk is going to be speaking at a conference in Dallas. And he's like, he's doing back then 20 million. And I'm like, there's no way that this young buck can do this much money. And like, this probably like, what I wrote, I'm like, hey, Sam. He's like, who's this? I'm like, hey, like, I want to meet you. So I actually took my brother and we flew to the conference in Dallas. And I met Sam in person. And Sam and Lyle, they're partners. And Sam was so cool. He's like, Igor, why don't you just come to Pennsylvania? Why don't you come visit our shop? Take a look at it. And I'm like, say no more.
I'm buying a ticket.
Yeah, like, I mean, we didn't take us long. I came there and I'm like, I don't believe that you're doing these numbers. Show me your QuickBooks. Show me your Service Titan. And he showed it to me. My jaw dropped. I'm like,
okay, I'm listening.
I'm like, he was so young. He's like 28 years old or 27 back. I think he was 28 back then. I'm like, how? There's no way. I'm like, how do you guys do this? You know? And I saw, and they were very profitable. And so he inspired me so much that when I came back in August, end of August, I remember how I said, Oleg, my CEO, I'm promoting you back to COO.
Demoting.
Promotion. Sometimes I promote people to a customer.
Okay,
Right,
so it is a promotion from CEO to COO.
Actually, no, it's a demotion. So I'm like, Oleg, look, because look, Oleg was great. He was very organized, but there was no crazy growth. I mean, I'm like, you know, and we are not profitable. I mean, we are profitable barely, and I'm like, I'm the owner. I gotta be profitable. I'm like, look, Oleg.
Do you remember what was the net profit during those years? 23,
guys.
24?
It wasn't a lot.
Like 3%.
Like around that.
So it's pretty much break even.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, we were profitable. We were like, I was getting paid pretty good. I had always, even when Oleg was the CEO, I pay yourself first. You have to pay yourself. So. And I said, "Oh, you're gonna be CEO. I'm gonna be the CEO."
And he didn't like it.
And he's like, "Igor, I'm out." I'm like, "Hey, no problem." I'm like, "You're gonna be a great COO." I'm like, "You're gonna be." He's like, "No." So
I'm not buying it. No. But you're gonna be great, COO.
So
I don't want to be a COO.
so he takes Ilya. So guys, back then, lad, they ran the whole business. They did marketing. We were the Cool Cat fans. They did payroll. They did all the hirings. They ran the business. So when they were out, I was like, oh boy. I remember how I was like crying. I'm like, God, I need your help. Help me out.
Did you? When you are demoting a COO, first of all, people don't do that. But when you do it, you have to anticipate that he will very likely say no and leave. Were you prepared for that?
I think so. He was not gonna,
So you saw it coming then.
yeah. I mean, I just didn't think it was gonna be so fast. That
I
both of them.
think you thought you're creative to come up with a cool way to fire someone.
But Ilya was key. Ilya did all the technology, like Ilya was key. To lose Ilya was tough. And
Why did you lose him?
because Oleg's the one who brought him in, and he was more loyal to Oleg.
Okay.
They were always talking, and Oleg has a strong character, and Ilya's very smart, but he's more soft.
Okay.
So Oleg always had more. So I remember how I was like, man, whoa! I would like sigh. I would be like, okay, how I'm gonna do this, And I remember how I took my family to a Montana trip, and I'm driving to Montana, and my friend Toli from Florida calls me. He's like, Igor, I've been praying for you, and God speaks expansion. Let me know if that rings your bell. I'm like, yeah, I'm losing people here, And God says expansion.
Wow.
The cool thing is that during that time, before Oleg left, transition, he gave me two or 3 weeks, Like it was smooth. We negotiated. It was a very nice break. Man, they're solid people. We hired Yana as our accountant, and she comes in. She was solid. She was what we were missing. Guys, I don't know how we made it that long. We had no employee agreements. We didn't even have a customer contract.
Wow.
I'm like, how do we make it this far? So
This is 2023.
This is already 2024. At
And
the
you
end
don't
of
have- You
2024.
don't have anything. You just
No.
Wow.
And I'm like, when I say it's God, I mean, guys, and we hire a good lawyer. Never had a lawyer. Finally hire a good lawyer.
Mhm.
And she and the lawyer, and we start like very bringing the company structure, employee agreements, contractor agreements, solid. Like this girl, Yana, I want to give credit where it's due. Before her, AR was insane. Like we were a way smaller company, and we had like on average, like people owed us 150,000 on average, like any day, or 200,000.
For the viewers, AR stands for accounts
Receivable. It's how much customers owe you. Like you did the job, you paid for the material, but you haven't got paid. In business, the most important thing is cash flow. Cash flow. It's the lifeblood of the company. So she comes in, and we change this. We with the lawyer, we make this bulletproof contractor. So, and then she creates a system of AR. Man, right now on average, if I open up our accounts receivables, like it's usually like less than like 50,000, and company is way bigger. Like it's bulletproof. We're so good, and I'm like, wow, God is blessing us. Even when Oleg's Ilya leaving, right? God's giving such a strong person to help the company. And I remember how she comes in September. In October, we lose $90,000. Our company we go negative 90,000.
Why?
Well, there's 3 payrolls in October, and we haven't figured our numbers yet. Back then, I still didn't 100% knew. We had already numbers. We had budget. We still. Even Yana came in. We had like took time to figure out your numbers. We go with negative 90,000.
But was it?
That's on the first month as the CEO.
Yeah, first full months. Yeah, and
What was it? Because the accounting got cleaned up, or is it because jobs stopped coming? Was it because accounts receivable wasn't getting actually received? What
well, the main reason is 3 payrolls. Like think about it. At the beginning of the month, you lose like
Right.
like hundreds of thousands of dollars in the middle and at the end of the month. So usually, it's so we go we lose 90,000, and I'm looking at our cash savings. I'm like, whoa, what do I do? Are we going out of business? So I'm like, emergency mode, waking up 5 a.m, first one in the office, last one out, starting firing people. I'm like, okay, I gotta let go of this guy, gotta let go of this guy. And I remember we had a supervisor, Vlad Volotsky, great guy, solid guy, very honest, very good. But I made him a COO or a manager, but he didn't have a backbone, to be the CEO. He was a good supervisor. So me and him, hey, let's mutual agreement to let go. I'm gonna let you go. We left on good terms, and I have a lot of respect for Vlad. If you're listening, I'm very thankful for you. I let go, and I'm looking, I went to get a equity from the house. I went to the bank and opened up an equity because I'm like, why? Because I'm like, I think I was gonna go under. I'm like, I just lost 90K. There's barely any money in the account. And I should have kept my mouth shut. I accidentally made a mistake telling my wife, hey, what do you think about us selling the house? And she's like a mama bear, we had 2 kids, obviously she's going to fight against it, right? Like she has the instinct to save the family. I'm like, okay, I got to not mention this again. I went to work and I started letting go of people, cutting the fat. And we didn't think. We kind of like, instead of us going like this, with all the cutting people, became very careful. We started like, and I remember how everyone left. I was by myself, and I went in one room and I got on my knees, and I'm like, God, give me a great operational manager, COO, that's gonna be honest and it's gonna be very capable. And I knew we had a Taras in the company. I heard about him, good things about him. I just like, hey, Taras, you're gonna be the CEO. And this guy didn't even speak English that good. Like he just came from Ukraine like recently. And I'm putting him as COO of a $9.5 million company. And he takes it and he crushes it. He crushes it. And it's a gift from God. But yeah, Sam, what Sam told me, that's one of the big reasons why we're going to 40 million. It's what he says. It's our sales. It's our accounts, receivables. We have an amazing operations.
Basically, his coaching was a...
Yeah, no. Sam, I give him a lot of credit. I believe that God opened his heart to impart into me. There's some people, you don't have grace. They're not going to share anything, but God opened his heart to speak into my life. And branding is important, but if you don't have an amazing sales, an amazing operations system, amazing AR, and then also knowing your numbers. If people don't know their numbers, they're just gambling. That's what I did for many years. I was like, 1 more month. Next month, I'm going to have a breakthrough. Next month, I'm going to have a breakthrough. No, you don't. If you're doing the same thing, you're going to have the same result. You got to do something different. And one reason why we are so, praise God, I don't want to like brag, but such a breakthrough this year is that we know our numbers.
Just visibility, transparency, understand costs.
And we look weekly, like a couple days a week, we see where we at right now this month. So you don't want to come at the end of the month and say, hey, let's see what happens. And then you calculate it for 10 days after the month is over. Oh, you're negative. Or you should know already. You should know today if you're going to be positive or not, based on your data. Mm-hmm. Like we have a system that I know right now where we at. Like we're going to make about this amount of money. Otherwise, you're gambling. I like that Oleg tried to bring this data, and he gave us certain foundation, but it was Yana working with Eddie, our sales director, and Taras. Mm-hmm. I remember last year, In June of 2025, we installed 1.7 million in 1 month. And our profits were like very low. And I remember I'm like, what's going on, guys? What is going on? And the problem was that I was paying Eddie his bonus from the total sales. And I was paying Taras his bonus from the total installed. So they didn't care about profit. They're getting their bonuses from revenue. So what changed is when I tied Eddie's bonus from net profits of the company. And I tied Taras's bonus from net profits. So now it's not about revenue anymore. Now they started diving into the numbers, making sure that we sell good margins, make sure the materials, phenomenal, guys, phenomenal. You have to incentivize the right behavior, because before I was incentivizing wrong behavior. It's just
Volume.
They didn't care if it's like they got bonus from volume, and revenue is not as important. It's good, but you live by profit, and that changed my whole business. That's one of the reasons why we're so healthy, that we can pay with our own money expansion into California because of the profitability.
Can you share a little bit about the structure of your team? So first of all, the marketing is media buying, right? Mostly it's you don't do search.
I do.
You do search. Okay, because you're creating demand. You mentioned that we can create demand, and that's possible only with media buying, with Facebook, Meta, right? So
Same thing with social
so
traffic.
you generate the leads, then you have a call center in-house that calls and sets an appointment,
Yeah.
and a salesperson goes and sells the project on the spot, collects the money, sells the financing potentially,
Yes.
right? And then installer comes really quick, job is done,
We collect the money right away.
collect the money same day.
Same day, if not the same day, next day.
How is that? Because you took their credit card, or you took
We still call. We call the customer. We push them.
okay.
It's
What about financing? What percentage of jobs?
over 50.
Over 50.
Over 50% finance. Also, I wouldn't be here without financing.
Using FinTurf or no?
We're talking to them right now, but we use.
It's my friend.
Really? Wow.
And Service Titan, I know the CEO.
You know this? You know? Wow.
It's David's friend. I met him at a birthday party.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's amazing.
That's a great company, and
Oh, it is.
from what I remember, they don't work with fencing companies. Like they're like, I believe, like roofing. It was number one, and then plumbing.
So they're number one for HVAC, but they also expanded with roofing a lot. So I was the second company in the nation from fencing that's gonna go with them. I'm like,
Do you know if other companies right now use Service Titan? Are they okay with it?
I think there's more right now. I think we're putting on the map. Because even Tommy Mello, when he was doing garage doors, he came to Aura and they're like, "Hey, sorry, Tommy, we only do it for HVAC." He's like, "No, I'm gonna do something special. Bet on me." And they catered and they made it for garage doors too.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So see how you gotta sell. Tommy Mello sold.
You gotta convince.
You gotta convince. And now they're so happy they bet on Tommy Mello. He makes them so much money.
Because makes sense.
Let's zoom out. Let's go back to the beginning. I find it fascinating that you decided you wanted to go into fencing, and the first thing you did was go and work for a fencing contractor. A lot of people in the Slavic community, they just go and start a company. They don't want to apprentice under somebody else. Can you talk about that?
I don't know. You guys ever heard these people like, "Hey, I would never work for anybody. I would just, just this pride."
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, they're like, "I'm an entrepreneur." I know some of those guys, and the way I see it is that usually people that I see make it big are more humble, that learn from here. It's a journey. And those people like, "I don't need anybody." And they're like, "I'm not going to work until I find this amazing job." And then you see their years are passing by. Even if you work at McDonald's, you would learn customer service. You would learn skills. So I know systems, like I worked at McDonald's. I'm not sorry. I'm happy I worked at McDonald's.
But you worked at McDonald's
yeah.
not because you wanted to work at McDonald's and learn something, because you had no choice. Right.
That was a good one. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to my mom. She pushed us to work. She's like, no, you're working. You're working. I'm happy with that. Like, pressure is good. That's why we put pressure on our customers. You gotta buy the fans. Pressure is good. And mom, even when I was at 16 years old, like right before I was 16, I was living in these projects for low income families. And they had a program where you can work 4 hours a day. And I was at a Boys and Girls Club. I would just sign in their names where they would come in to play basketball. And they paid for for every hour. And half of it I was playing basketball. But I'm thankful for those that they promote people to work, And then when I was 16, I worked at McDonald's. And then 17, I worked at Taco Time. And I remember how my mom put pressure. Hey, you got to work. You got to do this. You're right. There was no option. If I had an option, I probably wouldn't work at McDonald's. But I'm thankful that my mom put pressure on us.
But so was the goal with working as an apprentice in fencing to learn the systems and learn the business?
Guys, so
He shared.
Yeah.
He shared that his uncle in Sacramento.
Yeah, my uncle is the one who inspired me.
Told them that, listen, there's money in fencing.
And the beautiful part is my dad working stonemasonry for 10 years or how long he worked. He never really made good money. It was just enough for living, He never, until he went to work for fencing. God blessed him. Right now he's retired. We blessed him. And because in fencing, you can hire people out. And when you're doing tile or stonemasonry, you got to do the work because it's so difficult. It's hard. If you find a helper, he ain't gonna be installing the tile. So it's such a better model of business, fencing.
But if you run a store, let's say a flooring store, you hire contractors, skillful, smart, good contractors, and you can still scale.
Oh no, for sure.
I believe you can scale any business in home service. It's just
you can, but there's some businesses that are uphill battle. Like if you do remodeling, it's a hard business. Because why is it so hard? Because there's always custom work. Let's say you sign a contract for a job for $300,000. And then let's say they give you a deposit, but then you have to wait. You're doing the job for potentially 2-3 months. And potentially there's stuff that you have to order and it lingers. And then you have a problem with cash flow. Now you have to wait for 2 months to get the other half. And when you get those bigger jobs, there's bigger liability. If something goes wrong and the customer can't pay you, you're under huge stress. Why I like smaller jobs where it's up from 8 to 20,000 to even 30. Even if you mess up on one job, it ain't gonna make you go under. You'll just move on. It's less risk.
No, it's the life cycle of the job. 3 months versus 3 days. It's a massive difference for cash flow.
Yes. So why don't people choose businesses that have faster cycle of cash flow? You need cash flow and you have to wait 90 days to get paid. That's a hard business to do.
Because you're doing a remodeling job 3 to 6 months, you're paying your contractors, and you get paid in 6 months versus every day almost. You get paid for your jobs.
Yeah.
It's a completely different.
And it's hard to, for example, it's hard to standardize. How can you standardize if you have custom work all the time? How can you hire sales guys, 5 sales guys, they're gonna sell one thing? They can't come in and give you a job estimate on site because it's custom. They have to research. They have to know how much it costs. It's a hard business. There's businesses that are way harder that I wouldn't want to do.
What's a business that you would do now if you wouldn't be doing fences?
Man, Sam's not gonna be happy about this, but no, I think HVAC is
I know what you mean.
I will not go in HVAC right now because
Garage floors, epoxy floors.
that's a good business.
Yeah,
That's a good
he
business.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
He said it's a very good business.
Yeah, that's a good business. I think again, you guys think I am biased, right? So after fencing, I think that garage epoxy maybe second best in the nation
That's good. That's good.
because you can simplify. If you can simplify, you can standardize. If you can standardize, you can multiply, and that is the reason why we're going to Sacramento because of that same reason.
When you went to the first conference and you came back pumped up to become a national player, is that still a goal? Do you still believe that Cool Cat fans can become a multi-state, not just across the coast, but beyond? Is it something? Is it one of the goals or no?
We'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? I don't know the future, but I do know one thing is God is blessing fencing work. Remember when God said, Igor, you're doing fencing? Continue to do fencing. So as long as I do fencing, I have a good feeling about it.
Okay. What about an exit strategy? Do you have one?
I want to see how far I can take it. Like, let's say we go to California and it works. And then let's say we go to Denver.
Why wouldn't it work? I think you have the system down. Marketing is there.
Well, I am thinking about taking it as far as I can go. And that's thinking big, right? Because you don't know the future. I mean, but we're gonna move in faith. We're gonna think big.
We're gonna conquer. That's awesome.
We're gonna dare with God's help. You know, looking back when I was afraid to pay $300 a month for Yelp marketing, yeah, and I'm like, can you imagine? Now we're probably spending that an hour or even less, or even more. No, more than that, a lot more.
Have you ever been tempted to expand outside of fencing? Maybe like
Of course, guys.
decking,
Are you like? I think every business, everybody, right? We're entrepreneurial people. We're visionary. Like, of course. I had so much. I'm like, man, if Cool Cat's doing so good in Seattle, why don't we do Cool Cat roofing? It's a bigger ticket item, and it's very similar. Why not?
But it's a different business.
I think it's a different business. I think I'll have more ROI and better results with my infrastructure that I have. It takes the hardest thing is building infrastructure. Do you guys know that when the rocket takes off to space, it uses 90% of its fuel just from the lift off. That is the hardest part. Once it goes to the atmosphere, it uses like barely.
Yeah,
That's
I
why,
like that analogy.
right? In the beginning, to start a business, to make an infrastructure work without you is so hard. It's unbelievably hard. Most people don't make it.
First 3 years.
But now when you have the infrastructure, it's so much smarter. Instead of me taking the money from Cool Cat and trying to build I think I can do it.
And it's somewhat gambling.
Yeah. Why won't I double down what's already working?
Yeah.
Why do I need to? Right, you know what I mean? So there's strength in doing one thing, because usually like, hey, let's do decking, let's do railings. I just noticed in my business that narrower I went, the more money I started making. Like I remember
You tried doing decking?
I remember how we did one deck, failed miserably, and I know that if I start doing decking right now, I can bring very smart people. I can pay. We have the funds, the money, and I know we would succeed. But I think it would hinder us in the long run. We would get so much focus, so much attention, so much when we can be opening new states and doubling down on what's already working. Don't reinvent the wheel. So. And plus, like sometimes
It seems like it's the same thing. I have a friend, Rick's Fences and Decks. That's the name, I think.
they just sold recently. They just they somebody bought them out.
Oh wow, yeah,
What was it,
five,
like
6
200 million or
locations.
something?
I don't know the amount, but if you guys, it would be interesting to know. They are doing. Last time for last year they did 55 million in revenue. But I believe they're like multiple states.
Yeah, they are.
So
Most of them are coast, and I believe he has one in Idaho.
and I think Tri-Cities, I think.
Yeah.
They have and they do a lot of decks, pergolas. But I'm like, but why would I do decks when to get a deck you have to have an inspector, there's more liability, there's more time.
Complicates.
It's more it's I'm like, why don't I just simplify things and double down and multiply it? So the way I see it, I get a better ROI on multiplying the simplest things than just and
Interesting.
but people get tempted, and even I can share you guys when Oleg and Ilya were running the business in 2023 or does that beginning of 2024, I'm like, hey, why don't I open a junk removal company? I'm like, you don't have to dig holes, you don't have to do the work, you just come out and then just point, hey, what do you need to remove? Put it on the dump truck and go to the dumpster and press the button and dump it. Great business, right? Like, as I thought. And I'm like, since I have time, I'm gonna do this, So I found a guy from church. I'm like, he's a youth leader. There's 200 people under him. He must be good. Hey, let's go. I named it Supersonic Junk Removal, and we got a brand new dumpster, the truck from the dealer. But I started taking money from inline security fence. I have another company that does commercial. They were barely surviving because, and I took their money and started investing into Supersonic Junk Removal. And I'm like, man, I'm going to start beginning of March. By end of March, I'm going to be profitable. And I see, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, it's harder than I thought. There's barely any leads. I mean, we started doing some jobs, and I hired this guy, and then he hired a girl who was an admin. That girl was really cool. She was very energetic. She did a lot of work. And but that guy, he ran youth ministry, and then he had a girlfriend. So I was looking at him. So his priority was the ministry, and then the girl was second place, or the girl was first, the ministry was second. The business was not a priority. It was his, and I'm like, I think he's a great guy, but I picked the wrong person.
I like him.
He's a great,
all the great people.
he's a good, he's a good guy, but
not a businessman.
But it was not even him. I think it was me. So in April, I saw that we're losing money. It's a burden to me. It's a distraction right now. And I remember my coach during that time, Steven, he says like, Igor, why don't you close it down? And I'm like, whoa, I'm not used to closing businesses down. I don't give up. I closed it down. I paid the severance package to the guy and then to the girl. And I'm looking back, what was my mistakes? Could it have worked? Yeah, it could have worked. But I would need like 3 dump trucks. And I would need to spend like $40,000-$50,000 a month on marketing. Because the average ticket is so much smaller. It's like $600 per one. So, and do you understand? In the beginning, you have no brand, nobody knows you, so you have to spend on marketing. So, and I was spending, so inline security fence wasn't ready. So I was taking from company that wasn't established yet. Like right now, Cool Cat is established. It can sponsor 3 supersonic junk removals. But I'm like, so Igor, why don't you do it right now? It's a distraction. Why would I do this when I have something that's already working so good and double down on what's working? But I remember even doing supersonic, I was so lost because I had all these businesses, and I'm like, I made a mistake. I made a lot of mistakes. I also opened in Texas 4 locations at once. In 2025, I opened Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin. And at that time, we were opening Vancouver. Oh boy. I remember how I put our chief technology officer, Ben, I'm like, you're the CEO of Texas. And he doesn't know nothing about working with contractors. It was a mess. We closed it down. We weren't ready.
How much you invested?
Not a lot of money. Maybe like 50, 100. Like,
so you learned a lesson now.
Yeah. But so right now, we are ready. but we're not doing 4 at once. We're gonna start with 1 Sacramento, 1. And now we have a game plan. We weren't ready as a company. Our infrastructure wasn't ready. Right now, I believe we're ready. But again, we will see.
So let's do a thought experiment. Let's say you wake up tomorrow, you're in a new city. Okay, doesn't matter which one. Let's just assume it's comparable to the Seattle metro area.
Yeah.
You have no brand, no crew, no cat, no
No cat. Oh
right?
man.
No Pat.
You've got 50K, you've got a truck, you've got your phone, and you're gonna start over. How long does it take you to get to 100K a month? And what's your first move?
And I have 50,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, my first move.
Well, I think to make it more fair, because 50,000 is not realistic to do anything, but 500,000.
Oh boy, whoa.
500,000.
Oh no, that's okay. That's great, but let's be realistic. 50K, okay? Let's be realistic. 50K.
I just don't believe you can get.
I want to hear how
just-
he'd be
You're
scrappy.
Vlad, you're such a high level that your mind is you're just thinking so big, you know? Like can you imagine when I couldn't pay $300 a month? $300 for marketing. Some people's mindset is
Okay, well, maybe you're gonna surprise me. Let's see. 50K.
okay, 50K.
It
The
is.
first thing I would do right now, I would get a catchy name. I would get a good brand.
Would you hire that same agency, or would you just try and scrap?
Not them. No, they're too expensive. For 50K, that's like 60% of your budget right there.
Yeah.
No way, Jose. I would hire a different company. I have a company that I can share, but I would get a catchy name and right away get a van and wrap the whole van with the brand. That would be the first thing that I would do. Number 2, I would hire a salesperson. I would not do sales. I would hire a salesperson and I would get Google My Business and make sure it's optimized. I have beautiful pictures. I get uniforms. I would have my logo that when my guy comes for an estimate, he's wearing a uniform. He looks presentable. Man, it matters so much how you look. People perceive you how you look. When you look professional, people have subconsciously, they perceive you differently. And I would get a CRM system right away. Not Service Titan because it's so expensive. With that budget, I would get House Call Pro or Jobber. Because why? I want to track my marketing. Because why I would get CRM? Because I would want to know if I'm spending this much money on Yelp or if I'm spending this much money on this. I want to know where people are calling me. I want to start tracking my data. So you're not just so you know what works. Visibility. See what works. You know. So I would get that person. I would hire a CSR/admin that would pick up the call, pick up the phone, and who would do like payroll. I would get that 50,000 and invest so I can get out being in the business. So I can right away get out of the front lines, get out of talking to the customer, and start working on marketing and working on hiring people.
Okay, so how many people is that?
So
Sales guy and then CSR. CSR.
In the beginning, all I need is 3 people. I need salespersons. I'm going to call him project manager/project manager. I'm going to give him very good money. I would hire a CSR and an admin.
And
3 people.
CSR, customer service.
Yeah. She will just pick up the phone and she would reply to the leads. You guys know that.
Also, essentially a appointment setter.
Yes, that's huge because these days, if you get a lead and if you don't reach out within seconds, you're losing that lead. You might win a couple, but if you really want to grow, you got to get like it's speed.
So those are the 2 hires, and then the third would be installer.
And I would
That's a
hire
contractor.
a contractor. I would just hire a contractor so they can use their van, their tools. Like otherwise, I'm moving on to cash right now. I need to get cash flow. I want to push for cash flow. And cash flow comes in. I'm continue building the brand. I'm starting to spend money on LSA, local service ads. Right? They're different from Google ads. Those are 2 different things. Right? I would want to optimize LSA. I would build a website and start getting SEO, search engine optimization. I would make sure that I put a yard sign every time I'm doing a fence work, even if it's contractors. Hey, it's mandatory to put a yard sign. I want to market. I want to make sure that I'm constantly marketing.
Are the contractors wearing the uniform?
You can't really, like in our state, you can't make contractors wear your uniforms. They have to be independent. So, so I would hire as soon as I have cash flow comes in. I'm getting employees. Like especially in the beginning, if you want good reviews.
So you would have, with 3 people, you'd have
A functioning business.
2 to 3 months run rate, and if you don't make it in 2-3 months, you die.
No, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
And then in terms of marketing,
that-
you're just starting out. You don't have any brand awareness. What channels are you starting to focus on heavily? You mentioned Google My Business. You
Because
mentioned
Google My
SEO.
Business, you guys, it's a low hanging fruit. It's free. I mean, unless you have to pay for virtual office, like monthly. But people go to Maps and they type in fence near me, and then
There's also ranking and reviews.
yeah.
And all that.
But I would be so heavy on getting reviews. I would be like crazy serving customers so good and asking them for reviews with pictures. Because it matters.
Do you tell them what to say in the review so that the
No,
reviews
no,
are
no.
optimized?
No, I don't. But guys, how do you know if the company is very progressive? If they're really growing? Look at their reviews. If they have a lot of reviews and a lot of fresh reviews, you know this company is doing something right. They're going places. Reviews, because when they see your ads on Facebook or Google ads or your events, even when they type in your name, what do? Read the reviews, right? They see how many reviews. So when they say, whoa, they have so much reviews and all these fresh ones with pictures, which prove it's huge. Like
There's a lot of activity, there's volume.
volume matters.
Okay,
Reviews.
but let's be honest. You can do it with 50K because of your experience. You've done it, but a person that goes into this business and follows your plan, very likely they'll fail. They will need more than
It's not
50K
easy.
because it will take time to figure things out.
So there's a lot of people that left me. And more than 10. I mean, companies, way more than 10. Only 2 companies are actually have more like real business, which is Oleg, who is my CEO, Optima Fence, and Monkey Fence. He's very talented. He's a great sales guy. And he is succeeding. He has installers and sales, but we'll see. Time will tell. Time will test the foundation of your business. So I have no negative. He's talented. I bless him. Everybody else, just self-employed. Do you guys not see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing. I mean, people are copying me. I mean, they're doing, but it's not easy. It's not like for this to work. Everything has to go.
I
right.
just want to make sure that our viewers don't get in this illusion that, hey, 50K, I'm gonna hire these 3 people, I'm gonna make it work. First of all, even if you're a good business person and you have previous experience in other businesses, you need more than 50K. You're going to a new business, you will need way more than 50K. And it doesn't matter if it's fences or HVAC.
Actually, you're right. I'm looking back at my supersonic John Cremul, the car that I bought, it was 90K, but it was payments. I put in 14,000, and then I had to do payments. So that's 14,000 right there, right? And then painting was like 3,000 or something. No, you need more than 50. You're right. Looking back, for supersonic for it to work, I think I would have to have 100,000.
Well, even to crack the ads. I know
Yeah.
you're looking at your current
Yeah.
media buying and you're seeing, okay, I'm able to get the CPA, customer acquisition cost, $30, $50. No, but when you're brand new, when everything is fresh, you're spending thousands of dollars and getting very little leads because you're just trying to figure out. You hire an agency and the agency is terrible. You have to go back to another one. There's a lot of.
Yeah. It would be easy for me if I have the same in my brain. I already know who to hire. I already know which agency, but
Yeah.
but if I didn't know that, oh man, that's tough. So I gifted this business, supersonic junk removal, to somebody else. I just gifted him, and there's 3 guys. They're not giving up, but man, it's not easy for them because they're learning how to be business people. So
Right.
I think they're trying to buy a second truck, but I'm looking back, I'm like, man, that's a tough business. Yeah.
So speaking of other businesses, you also do coaching. How did you
People
come-
don't like that word, but I consult people. Yeah.
Okay, let's call it consulting.
Yeah, consulting.
Paid consulting.
Paid consulting. How did you get into that? Why did you do it?
Well, my business runs without me, and I need to spend my time somehow, right? So even right now with my consulting, one of the paid ways is every Tuesday from 11 in the morning to noon for 1 hour. I share, I teach, it gives me pressure to lead people, to speak better in front of people, to give them value. So I'm putting myself in a pressure. Otherwise, if you have idle time, it's not good. I want to put my time to use. Is that the best time of my use? Probably not. I'm making a lot more money with Cool Cat Fans. Like, well, I don't think it's even how much I already invested. I don't know if I'm breaking even yet. It's still investment with my training. So could it be distraction? It could be, but
What led you to do that? Because it's not everyone is.
So even when Oleg and Ilya ran the company, and I was kind of had to do something, I already started back then, 2023, I think, or 4. I already kind of started start sharing already back then with Arsen. Me and him. That's when we went to Sam, and then we went to other businesses. I was already kind of doing that time, but I was very not on right now level. Right now, I'm putting videos every single day. It's like, how do you differentiate a professional and someone who's kind of like professional person does it? It doesn't matter how he feels. He's doing it. But before Alex, I was just like, I would only post a video when I would feel like it, or maybe once a week. But now it doesn't matter how I feel. I'm putting a video, and sometimes I feel like, Igor, what are you doing? Like, because I was born in a family, great family, by the way. My parents, I'm so thankful for them. But I was taught to be kind of like, be quiet, don't show off, don't stand out. And so I remember how I was really afraid even to post anything on Facebook, or I'm like, man, I don't want to look silly, right? And then I remember how I was like, man, I'm tired of being afraid. I'm just gonna post it. I'm just gonna share it. I want to share it. And I know, for example, when you read The Laws of Human Nature or and other books about human nature, they say, hey, don't share your plans, don't share your secrets, move in silence, politics, and I'm like, I can't do no Robert Greene. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I just tell people, like, everything. I tell it, and I see that God's hand is upon the business. Just God's blessing me, and I'm just thinking that I actually enjoy sharing this, and I enjoy helping people.
But what's the motive behind it? Is it to help people?
I think it's both, because if you just share and you don't get paid, people don't value it. People don't value your consulting, and then when you do it paid, people value it more. The ones that pay, they're the ones who are going to value it. So I bless them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't value this. What helped me the most, lad, in business by far, after God, when He spoke to me, was proximity. Tommy Mello, Chris Lee, Sam Matsuk. Big shout out to Sam. Because proximity to those people that are doing it, they're like, hey, we're doing this. You're like, whoa, I didn't know it was even possible. So first, you see it when you first see it here, and then later, like, okay, I can do this now. Because if you don't see it,
you have
first,
to believe it.
If you don't believe it, right, you're not going to do it. So that's why, even right now, the people that are signing up to my consulting, One guy, I gave him an advice. He already sold more than 150,000 worth of work in the last 2 months. Just one advice. But it's one thing that you can hear on a podcast somebody, but it's one thing when I'm in a podcast and I'm telling you, Vlad, look, do this, and I tell you to your face, and it's way more power.
Yeah, it's
Because and also you know
more
that
potent.
yeah, you know that it's not just fluff.
General, it's not general.
It's not you, because he
it might work for me, it might not work for me, you know, but it's like, hey, you gotta do this. Like you shared a few people, the guy in the sauna, like do it. Remember? And the lady, the realtor, she said, buy this.
yes.
Yeah,
Proximity.
That's different.
Proximity. And she was the realtor. She understands the pricing of the houses. So, and then when she speaks to you, like, whoa, so much power behind that. That's why I believe that proximity to people that are in your niche, like home service, will help you the most. There's no better, faster way to grow.
That's awesome.
So the version of you that's still at Comcast making 14, 15 bucks an hour, installing cable, what would you say to him? If you could speak back to your younger self.
Man, I would say, hey, Igor, go into fencing. This is the way. This is the vehicle. Yeah, if I know everything that I know right now, I would want to run it again in fencing, but even earlier.
Would you hire your old version, the Comcast guy? Would you hire him?
Would you hire your old self?
Man, he would not survive a Cool Cat right now, probably. No, he would not survive.
Why?
Yeah, it's Cool Cat.
Lots of pressure.
It's hard to work for Cool Cat Fence. I heard that our contractors, they complain how hard it is to work for Cool Cat Fence, and I'm like, that's good. That's the reason why we're here, because we have these strict systems. If you don't have systems and accountability with this size, it's gonna be chaos.
High standards.
High standards, accountability, very systematic approaches. They have to dispatch, arrive, take pictures before, take after, checklists. You know, there's a lot of things. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard to work for Cool Cat Fence.
But it's a great company, and you learn a lot.
Yes, I believe those guys that come in right now, even work in our sales departments. Man, what a blessing! They get it's for the rest of their life. They're gonna have this skill that's been drilled into them, ability to sell, not to be an estimator. It's a big difference. A skill how to sell on the spot. It's the whole process. I mean, I think people should pay money just to.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, but it's for free.
No, they get paid.
I
Instead of the other way
Actually,
around, they get paid and they're
Yes.
learning at the best university.
but not everybody makes it. Like it's a very
Yeah.
like Eddie has an interview. If he sees in them the potential already, he gives them a chance. If he doesn't, no.
What type of book you would recommend right now for someone who is seeking, you know, that career in sales?
In sales. Well, I really like Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you guys remember. He already passed away, but he's Christian, but he was big on sales, and I would listen to his audio recordings, and I would read his books. It's a but you know what? I would start with from book How to Win Friends and Influence People. I believe that you have to understand human nature. We work with human nature. So when you understand the human nature, it's so much easier to work for them and to sell and persuade people. But the book that I would recommend for business owners, what really, really influenced me and put a big factor in my life, is From Good to Great by Jim Collins. He has a very famous saying in that book. You need to get the wrong people off the bus. Get the right people on the bus. Figure out which seats to put them on. And you guys will figure out where to go. Basically, what he's saying that having the right people is more important than vision. Because the right people, they will figure it out.
Okay.
And I'm looking at my guys, Taras, Eddie, they figured it out how to be profitable because they're the right people. So also that book says, if you don't believe you can be number one in the world at doing this, don't do it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So believing in yourself.
Believing that you can be number one in the world in doing that. And that book says that that book, they study the best companies for the last 25 years that they weren't not good, but they were great for like a long time. And he said that it's because their leader was there. He was not charismatic. The leader was always humble. He said that in that book that the leader, the CEO, needs to be humble, because when people become prideful, it's like a hubris. They become blind. But that book had a really profound effect on me.
So you see, when we asked if he would hire himself, the young self, he said he wouldn't survive. It means no, you wouldn't hire him, or you would.
Yeah, I don't think, like, for example, I don't know if I would make it right now in our sales department. Maybe I would. Maybe I'm underestimating myself. But what liberated me?
It doesn't have to be sales. Any other position?
I think there's only one position I'm good at right now. It's the visionary. Do you guys understand that? There's some people that are visionaries. We a little bit of ADHD. We're not good at integrating. Like, I'm not good at doing the work. But because a lot of times when we would get together with Liana, and we would go with leadership mainly, and we would go and they will talk. Okay, Igor, it's your turn. Everybody, do you think Igor, as a CEO, does he gets it? Does he wants it? And does he have the capacity to do it? Like, is he doing a good job as CEO? And usually I would feel a little bit cringe. I'm like, man, because I would feel, because everybody does the work, and I don't, that I'm lazy and that I don't have authority. And I would always kind of like feel uneasy, But recently, yesterday we had the meeting, and I was like, I kept my head up high this time. I was liberated when I realized that I am not a manager. I don't do the work. I'm a leader. I'm a visionary. I promote people, put them in charge of departments, and I don't micromanage them. I let them lead. And I don't do the work, but I carry the risk. And because this way, how I do it, we grew this big. If I was doing the work physically, we would not be this big. So I'm like, Igor, you are doing your job. And because sometimes people feel like I have to do the work, No, I mean, you don't have to do the work. You're carrying the risk, which is the hardest work. And you're the visionary. You constantly show people where to go,
So you're gonna more than double this year.
So last year we did 16 million in revenue. This year we are on track to do more than 40.
Okay,
come on.
So you're doing your job.
So I'm like, hey, I'm maybe, I know I want to compare it to my guys, amazing people. Yana, the financial director. Taras, the CEO of operations. Eddie, national sales director. He already has someone in the Seattle that's doing the sales director. He's already on top of that. I have Ben, chief technology officer / marketer. Great. I'll call him like a data scientist. Very important. So when I look at, they're doing the work, right? But I'm directing them, and I'm telling, hey guys, you're doing a good job. And I put pressure, beautiful pressure on them.
You're like the orchestrating.
Yeah. So I see, guys, how long it took me to change that mindset, to see myself, I'm a visionary. I'm not a manager. I'm a leader. So it's so liberating when you find out how you're wired. I'm like, because I'm wired that way, it's so important to understand yourself and what you're good at and what you're not.
A lot of people, they would comment on how the company grew, but it's how the CEO and the owner grew with the company, how much his mentality changed, how much he personally grown from the first name. I don't remember the first name. And then you changed twice.
Quality fence, inline fence, cool cat fence.
Yeah, it's like an evolution. And every time there's a lot of changes. When your CEO stepped away, that's another, challenge for you. And that challenge formed you and made better version and better version better.
A lot of pressure, guys. Last year, 2026, man, that was a tough year. so much pressure. And also my other company, Inline Security Fence, where my existing CEO, who was phenomenal, but we moved to the new building. We actually rented a nice big shop so we can vault stuff, and we just started having like just problems there. We hired a person. I'm not going to mention the name for legal reasons, and I'm seeing that my CEO is losing the company. Like this girl is having more input, more initiative, and I'm like, hey, should we separate to this person? And he's like, Igor, yes. It was a relief to him. So we parted ways, and I promoted this person, this lady, and
Wait, so did you separate with her or promote her?
no, with the previous CEO, we separated on good terms, and it was a relief for him. And I promoted her naturally. And as soon as I promoted her, there became just chaos in the company. Just this guy quit, like
Turbulence.
and I'm like, what is going on here? And I remember my friend, the same guy from Florida, he sends me a voicemail. He's like, Igor, I've been praying about you, and you have a person in a company that if you listen to them, you're gonna lose your company. And I'm like thinking, man, what is this guy saying? What a false prophecy. I'm like, everyone's good in my company. And the next day I'm like, wait a minute. Is it this person? And I called one of the sales guys, and he's like, Igor, yes, it's this person. And I remember how this one guy, he left because of her, one of the foremen, I called him, like, hey, come back. I'm not going to let her do that. And basically, actually, there's some stuff I can't say because for legal reasons, I can share with you guys after. But I fired her because, we lost like a lot of money again. Like with her, like we were losing money. I was like, what's going on? I remember how I came in after I fired her. I'm like, what do I do this business? Do I close it? And I just fired like 4 people at once. And then again, I fired 2 people at once. I just started firing people, cutting the fat, promoted Jason, one of the sales guys, to CEO. And that things became much more normal. And then we're still fighting with that company to be profitable. It's tough, but it's crazy how important leadership is. If you have chaotic leader, your company is going to be chaos. And I made a mistake promoting a person, not knowing their character, knowing them only for a few months from the side only, not, you never want to put into leadership positions people of that character. She's not no CEO. She would have taken the company. She would have ran to the ground if I didn't promote her to a customer. So I remember how that year, I was like, it was just, I had so much problems, but all these challenges are forming you because you people have tried to avoid problems, but these challenges, they form you, they build you. And because of all those battles, all those things, why this year we're absolutely crushing it on all levels, because we're battle tested. We're battle tested. All those hardships, they battle test you. I remember how last year we dropped our marketing, huge mistake. I'm like, let's save some money, let's drop marketing. And then we increased our prices and we tanked. We started losing, we lost like $1 million in sales in 2 months. And I remember how we increased our prices and there's barely any sales. I remember how my brother picked me up to go to the gym and I'm like, I'm suffering, man. It's just so hard. I felt like I'm just going through such a hard time. And I remember how Sam was in town. Man, I give a lot of credit, like God bless Sam. But I remember how I'm like, hey, let's meet up. He's like, I'm at my brother-in-law's house, and it's Sunday. And I'm like, man, he's probably chilling with his cousin or with his brother-in-law. Like, why would I bother him? Man, it's Sunday. Like, it's family time, Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I'm tired of being nice. I'm like, let's meet. He's like, here's the address. And I just crashed their meeting and I just start talking to him. And Sam gives me 2 advice. He says, Igor, never stop hiring people and never stop spending money on marketing. I took those two advice to the bank, and that was huge. So, that's why it's a journey. And you're right, I'm doing this over 10 years. But a business, when you were never a business owner, business is like a baby. First, it can't even crawl. First, it crawls, then it has one step, it falls, right? And then it learns how to walk. Then it says one word, and it learns how to speak. So if you never ran a business, it takes time. If you put too much pressure on that baby or on this business, it's gonna snap. So the reason why our business, right? You don't have to do it for 10 years. People can do it. What I did in 5, if you do right things right away, right? But it took a while. So when God spoke to me to do fencing, right, 2020, now it's 2026. What, 5.5 years has passed, and that's when we start like growing. But so in the beginning, some people they see a big company, and if you one of the reasons why people fail when they grow too fast. It's one of the reasons why people fail and go bankrupt when you grow too fast. They grow too fast. They put too much burden. They put too much pressure on their cash flow. Instead of having a little bit of safety, they put everything back in the company, everything, and then something happens, boom, you got nothing to fall back, and they go under. It's true words.
It's like giving hard food, a piece of steak to the baby. You can't chew it.
Oh, that's a good analogy right there. Yes. So also, you gotta give time. You gotta develop. You gotta, and I'm looking at my inline security fence.
Grow some teeth.
Let's go. I'm looking at my inline security fence. They're making strides. They just hired a 3rd crew. They're in process of hiring a 4th crew. They hire some really nice welders. They're gonna start pumping out gates, But it's a hard business because sometimes you have to wait for a net 90, net 60. Like you paid for the material, you paid your guys, and you got no deposit even, and you're waiting for 90 days to get paid. Like if I wouldn't start right now. If I knew how hard it was,
Commercial is...
I wouldn't do it. The reason why I'm doing it is because it's already working, and I'm being a blessing to a lot of workers there. I don't want to just snatch it on like, because sometimes I'm like, why do I need this? I can just, Cool Cat can just take over this shop and use it for grow, but I see that we're growing there.
That's good.
So I don't want to quit.
Well, thank you for the wisdom. It's been a lot to swallow. I mean, I'm excited to watch this episode.
Yeah.
Any final questions, David?
Nothing.
He's like, I'm done. It was a lot.
No, it's a lot, and I can see what worked. I understand, and I think our viewers will really, really appreciate it because a lot of this stuff is super relatable to other businesses, not just fencing, and maybe your competitors will watch it. And you're blessed. Yeah, you're a blessing for them too.
Oh yeah, amen.
What do you say right now to your competitors that are copying you? Good luck.
Guys, hurry up and grow continue growing because that fuels me to grow too. Like, competition is good. No competition, you get Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Like, you need competition. Hey, if you're not going to do this, there's people on your tail. They're going to grow. If you don't grow, they're going to grow. So I'm aggressive. I'm pushing my guys. I don't take my competition lightly. I don't. You got to be humble and hungry.
Is there still space in the Northwest for fencing?
I mean, there's space. There's space
for now.
But it's a little bit. I mean, it's difficult to compete against us. But yeah, there's space.
So wish him good luck.
Yeah, guys.
To compete against Cool Cat.
Yeah, wish him the best. Like, yeah, I bless them. Like the way I see everybody that worked with us, everybody's life improved. Everybody's.
That's great.
Everybody. Even when we no longer work, it's okay. God bless you. Like continue growing. God's gonna bless you. Like that's why some people. I used to have this scarcity mindset. Oh, don't share anything. Don't do this. I think with God's help, I'm graduating. Hey, abundance mindset. There's plenty of work for everybody. I shared so much of my secrets. I gave it away. I'm basically giving it away. And did it stop us with our growth? No. We're growing even more.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Guys, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.